Hey everybody, welcome to Fma Discussion. This is episode 140, and tonight we'll be having guests Chris LaCava and Nelson Pinto. They will be talking about Stockton Multi Style. And we're going to get started. As you see, the flyer here says it all. I'm going to be bringing these guys up, and we're going to get started. If you have not already, please subscribe to Fma Discussion, where all the monies received from our channel go to charity. We do not keep any of it. None of us make anything from doing this. So you'll be helping us give to charities. I'm going to lower this. I'm going to be introduction and bringing these guys in. Hey, welcome to the discussion. Appreciate you guys coming on. And we got some folks already there watching. Folks, if you were watching, smash that like button. Tell us where you're watching from, and we're just getting started. Okay, again, those of you not caught, you're just jumping in. This is episode Fma Discussion, episode 140. I'm 240. Excuse me. And This is tonight. We are featuring Stockton Multi Style, and again, our guests are Chris LaCava and Nelson Pinto, and we're going to be jumping right in. So I appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Oh my God, happy to do so. So let's just get into it. So what is just briefly and quickly, each of you, just give us your martial, excluding FMA, just your traditional martial arts background, or if it wasn't traditional. Either one can start. We're going to hit both of you anyhow. So go ahead.
So the background. So I started training around 30 years ago, back in Portugal. Starting Karate Shotokan, Aikido, Aido-Gundo. Eventually, I want to do some Taekwondo ITF with kickboxing, Muay Thai, full contact that I certify under my teacher that I still keep in contact with him, and I compete even from WKA and so on back in Europe. My teacher was Carlos Pedro. It's a good friend of mine, and so he taught me a lot, and I really appreciate how he taught me how to the old school fighting. Then later on, I went to Aikido. I moved to the United States. I trained for 1 year with Grandmaster Dialba. It became like a second father for myself. I was already a black belt in other systems, and I spent 1 year in San Francisco, 24/7. I want to learn this system, modern Farang Musul. What is the Korean systems from Japanese and Chinese influence? It's easier like this. But Grandmaster Dialba add, trapping and grappling from other sources, concepts. Even, we have a lot of weaponry from Korea, like from the Hapsula and Warang arts, but he also adds some of Filipino and Silat and so on. Eventually in FMA. So I was
Don't go FMA yet. We're just going to cover traditional.
I'm trying to synthesize.
No worries. Chris.
So I started in 1984 in Kempo. So I was a Kempo guy. And eventually I loved martial arts. I got into it and I just loved it. So I was like, whatever somebody was training in, I picked their brains. But I was primarily a Kempo guy, and I ended up doing some Taekwondo, ended up doing some Tai Chi. And then I ended up doing Hapkido, and that's where I really fell in head first. So I was doing Hapkido and Kempo at the same time, just because I'm a martial arts whore and I love it. All right. So
folks that are listening, please disregard that last word that was used. No, just kidding.
Not even 5 minutes in and already ding.
It's Chris and I have a problem.
So I started training in Hapkido. I eventually started training with Grandmaster Lim Young-soo, which is one of the founder of Hapkido. Che Young-soo, one of his 9th degrees. There were only 4 9th degrees that he ever awarded, and my teacher happened to be one of them. So I traveled throughout the years going to Daegu, South Korea, and training with him and the rest of the Junkie masters up there, which was an awesome experience. And ended up training in Hapkido and Guhapdo, which is Korean sword, very much like Muso Jikiden Ishinru, because that's where it kind of came from. So, yeah, that is primarily non-Filipino.
Synthesized, right?
I mean, I did some stuff here and there, but you know, we'll say that's synthesized down to that.
Awesome. All right, we're going to jump into the meat and potatoes. All right. Okay, so potatoes. All right. Okay, so what was your I just want to know, just far as like your first FMA experience and your initial thoughts on it. Not so much segueing into further systems down the road, but I don't care what it was, but your first FMA experience and your initial thoughts of it and all that. So let's start with Nelson.
So it was in around 95. So
I'm sorry, I didn't get you. Manila?
1995 was my first experience, like with this Grima back in Portugal, with the Spanish and American teacher. So it was with Miguel Rivas from Cocho Rio and Professor Muro. Professor Muro is still a good friend of mine. He would train with Mikey Nye, the late Grandmaster Mikey Nye, and with Gilbertinho, and I think with Artur Gonzalez, I don't want to be wrong, from the Cuerdas Esgrima from Stockton, and much more. But I remember that what he was teaching was kind of the Cuerdas Encerrada. So that was my first martial arts, Filipino martial arts experience back in Portugal through my friend. I want to give the credit, Renchi Pedro Purain. He's a really good friend of mine back in Portugal. So
awesome. And your initial thoughts of the experience?
I love it. You know, it's like I always say, my name is Nelson. I have a problem, right? Because if I was able, I would download like Keanu Reeves, Neo. I just will put I just download all martial arts here. But it's impossible to learn everything and be good at everything. I personally try always to look the best, not the negative. I look at that's really good. I'm gonna add that. Oh, that's really good. I'm gonna add that. But it is impossible, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's because every martial art, if it can be Aikido, Karate, Tai Chi Chuan, I don't care if it's combative, not combative, Muay Thai, boxing, Jiu-Jitsu, every martial art, it will complement. So I like to that's what I try today times when I teach my students, from the monitoring distance until the grappling stand-up and on the ground with weapons and empty hand or multi-adversaries. I try to teach that way, and it was the way that some of my teachers taught.
You sound like a Jeet Kune Do guy,
right?
that JKD system. We're gonna jump over to Chris, folks, but I just want to give folks here that are jumping in, acknowledge them for jumping in here. We always appreciate that. Again, folks, if you're watching, tell us where you're watching from. Smash that like button. We got Maestro Alvin from San Fran. We got Maestro Frank, who is from Connecticut. We got Emmanuel from Portugal. We got Guru Terry Stockton. We got
Spencer Gee.
Naco.
Wow.
We got Greg. Just spoke to him from down under. We got Jesse, and we tried that. Maestro Alvin tried getting them on, and we got Bruno Franco. Great last name. We got Emmanuel. We got Suzanne
in the house.
Yeah, we got Spencer. Oh, Spencer, if you're still watching, Maestro Spencer, please message me. I want to see if you can come on January. I hope you're still watching. If not, I'll have to message you.
Good friends of mine.
And we got we got Chris from Georgia, and we got Chris Caban, that crazy guy who makes those.
Chris.
We should talk about Krampus later.
The best name, you got it, Bruno. That's it, baby. And we got
Eugene.
Eugene's here?
Yep, Eugene is in the house as well.
Okay, and we got Boston. I didn't see, really? Did I miss him? Oh, Eugene, he is there. I'm sorry. Maestro Eugene. Sorry.
Quiet man.
I got caught up on talking to Spencer. All right, Chris, your first FMA experience and your initial thoughts of it.
All right, my initial experience with FMA was probably in 1991. I was training in Kempo, and all of a sudden my teachers started swinging sticks and had us train and doing some rada, started doing double simwale and all that. So what ended up finding out was that, through terminology and through all the kinds of stuff, that we were doing like modern arnis. And it made sense after the fact, hindsight being 2020. You know, Remy Priestess got out there. He was a monster promoter, and he loved getting people involved. And the Kempo world, they were like, they were all about Remy Priestess.
Was that you as well doing the? That was you too.
Right. So that was my first experience, and my first experience was like, yeah, I'm down with this. It was new for me. It was fast. It was exciting. It was terrifying. It was awesome. It was sexy as hell as far as I was concerned, and I was down with it.
I knew this was going to be an aspect of entertainment with this interview, and I can't imagine why I thought that. I just why would I think that? Jeez. All right, so let's all right. We got your first experience and all that, and we got the who, when, and where, and whys. I know you guys said, you know, you kind of gave an overall, like, what it felt as far as and all that, but give me one thing. It could be a one word, it could be one module, one thing that from that initial experience got you hooked.
You want a one word?
It could be a word, a module. You could say, in other words, it could be stick. You know, one. Just
don't put words in my mouth, Dean.
Well, if that's the answer, let's run with it.
I would say exhilarating.
Perfect.
That just got me in.
Perfect.
I like the speed and the rhythm. You know, the timing. It's about speed.
The overall,
the
overall intensity from,
you know, it's like you block it, or you have to stick on your hand. You know, like our teacher says, Stockton, block it. I like that. It's that adrenaline.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. You guys had an extensive traditional martial arts background, like most of us around our age, that before we got exposed to FMA. It's just the way it is. You know, I mean, it's not like today where people can actually jump in MMA first before even doing a traditional art. Back in our time, generally speaking, we went the traditional martial arts route, and then we got exposure to the quote unquote eclectics. So with that being said, how was it? Give us some general differences coming from there, entering FMA, as far as the differences, similarities. So let's, Nelson.
So in my case, I was doing some stick, some knife, you know, but nothing special in other systems. But eventually doing sword and staff in Korean and Japanese styles. But then since 2001 with Grandmaster Diallo, because it's influence, even if he never certified in Filipino, he had a lot of weapons Korean, but he trained a lot also in Esgrima. So I really like it that even if we have that Korean aspect there, we have a lot of Korean weapons, but he also was training a lot of stick and knife. And since he wants to open, he developed his own way of seeing things, and he had a really good friend in San Francisco Bay Area. So he's training with a lot of very famous people, right? And he kind of add on the system. For me, was really good. And maybe it was him that brought me, and brought me to go look more in the Filipino martial arts, right? I sincerely, it's like a lot of people go to Filipino martial arts for several reasons. In my aspect, I don't know. It's something I cannot explain. It's like a passion. It's like I talk about the rhythm. I sincerely like a lot of the sparring too. It's a lot of fun. And it's like boxing, but with sticks, right? And you have to exchange like kickboxing, hit but not be hit, and I like that kind of rules, especially because on the street I don't want one bleeds another gushes is not a good exchange, right? And I like to train in the martial arts in that direction, and then eventually, I don't know if you want me to start talking about when I started Filipino martial arts, or we will go there.
Yeah, hold off on that, but we're definitely, I mean, we're going to segue into that. I just want to know, compare and contrast from your experience in traditional martial arts. Now you get
Okay.
exposed to this weaponry.
So going to that, I think that Filipino martial arts, what I like it in special, or the influence when I start even with learning with Yalva first 20 years ago, and then recently the last 10 years more really on the Filipino martial arts, it was the use of a knife or a stick. And I think they're objects, they're palm stick and so on. They're weapons that you can find anywhere. It's a fork, it's a spoon, it's a broom, it's a baseball bat. So I think what called me was I saw, like in boxing or kickboxing, I saw in the same when using the sticks and or a blade, a machete or a knife, something that not only it gave me pleasure to train because it's a lot of fun, but I saw that, well, this is a good tool because I'm training something that if someday I really need it, I can use it. So that was kind of, I think that's more practical in that aspect. When we train in the FMA, we try to be practical and be useful.
No, that totally makes sense. That was my first, when I was first exposed to FMA via Ron. I just saw if there was something that stood out, like somebody asked me right there on the spot, like back in 19, whatever it was, I would say, this seems more practical. I would answer it somewhere along those lines. You guys did freeze a couple times, Bruno, and all that. Now you're fine. But when Nelson was talking, there are a couple times that you guys did freeze.
Sorry about that.
I don't know what to attribute to, but you guys are fine now. So maybe it was just a glitch, that. But again,
you guys,
in last case, we just moved to other area.
But okay, but again, it was just so. Chris, same question. Again, coming from that traditional martial arts background, what were some, like, the glaring differences between what you were doing and this new art and system that you're in country, the whole 9 yards that you are being exposed to?
One of the things I really enjoy about martial arts is learning about different cultures. I really enjoy that a whole lot. And, going headstrong into Korean martial arts, going to Korea, pick up a lot about the culture, language, all the different, variables about a culture. Phenomenal. The Korean, whether you're talking about the language or you're talking about the martial arts, very regimented, very, it has to be this, right? Whereas in my experience in Filipino martial arts, a lot more laid back, the culture seems to be much more, hey, let's do this, it's funny because when I used to go to Korea to train, I would come back and I'd be lighter. I would lose weight, right? I go to Stockton. I go train with those guys. I come back, I'm heavier. Why? It's because we enjoy each other's company. We're eating, we're having beverages together. We're chilling, even during the training, somebody's at the grill. Terry or somebody's at the grill.
Sure, Terry.
And while we're training, there's this beautiful board of food.
Yeah. Are you doing more eating or more training?
What's that, dude? And like, but the thing is that it's a much more family-oriented kind of martial art culture that I experienced, where and I really enjoyed that. I love being a part of a family. A group, a close group. So that was my contrast between the two.
I felt much more relaxed. Like Taekwondo.
Where the training's hard. Don't get me wrong; it's ridiculous. But in general as a whole, you know what? It's all good, man.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm thankful, but it was just so relaxed. It was like, so that I actually really appreciated that. Like, not being at attention all the time, or not all the time. I mean, shouldn't say that, but not having to pay particular attention to be at attention. Just, it's just so much more relaxed. And we got more folks that are jumping in saying hello. We got Guru Tom, and we got Romeo.
Oh, cool.
And we got Brian Rodriguez. Oh my God, we got 3 people from FMA discussion here.
Awesome. Thank you everybody for coming.
We got crew.
Appreciate that.
All right. Okay. So, all right. So just give briefly, because Nelson. So, all right. I know there's some stops in between you guys before you got to Stockton Multi Style, and we're gonna get to those and all that. But just what led you guys to Stockton Multi Style?
Okay, I think that Chris just talked about that. I met a lot of good people on the way, and I'm not going to go in politics.
No. That's okay.
Of course, we're not going to go there. But Stockton Multi Style, I'm going to say what they are. And for me, they are. You see some of these crazy videos on the internet, right? You see how they train so hard and fighting, and the reality. I even heard a few things about them before I went to train prior, right? Hey, Nelson, I have to say they are the most family-oriented people that I met. When you see everybody at training, when you go there, it's like it's the kids, it's the daughters, the granddaughters, the wives, everybody's there. They teach from the heart. It's like I felt sometimes bad because they want to give so much. They just want to give. And I was like, what is the agenda here? Right? Because everybody have an agenda.
Right?
I'm saying like,
no, I get that.
Why they want?
What's their angle?
Yeah, I remember the first time I went there, I went for work, and I spent 8 days in Stockton. And I trained, I will work 8 hours. I was on training, right? And I was living in Colorado that time. And I trained the 8 days there. Every day they will cook and barbecue in one place, in the other, whiskey, beers, and steaks. And I'm all bruised up, and we're having fun, and one guy go to the barbecue. Okay, you go feed Nelson. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, Nelson, take a whiskey. Okay, you switch, Nelson. I was like, oh my gosh, train from 8 days. I train every day, and never was. And then it's not only that, and I don't want to take everything because I want to give something to Chris to talk. But we are very OCD, both of us.
ADD.
ADD? It's better? Okay. So
that's not necessarily better, but that's what we got.
Same, difference.
But they are very structured. And if you see what I like in Stockton Multi Style is, you don't see only in some systems, you only see a few guys really good. No, they try to bring everybody up and become good or super good. Because you have guys there, they're super amazing, but they're able to bring people to become really good because of the method of teaching.
As Gene would say, hella good.
Gene, hella good. Gene.
That's a new one.
So don't forget, I want to give the credits that, all of them amazing. Everybody wants to help, but the group, it's the Kuya, it's Master June Gotico. He's the responsible for Stockton Multi Style is Grima. Terry Joven, it's the second with Eugene Enis, right? So the 3 are like the technical director, right? They're the top guys, support by other students and instructors that also train under Grandmaster Leo and so on. So they because they train directly with Leo, then to Roy Villar and so on, right? But I think it was family. I was forced. I want sometimes to contribute and give something to them, even if I feel, at least for the beers and for the meat, because these guys are, you have a place to stay, you come to train, and then of course me and Chris have been contributing and try to give what we can for them. Because if you're someone that really wants to put Stockton styles, not Stockton when they talk, it's not only them. They want to put Stockton in the world where I can feel they want to bring that culture, that second culture that was built there in Stockton, right? The Filipinos, there's so much rich history that exists there. That the ground zero of the FMA outside the Philippines, that was in there in Stockton, California, and then it spread out all over the United States and Europe. And this is the guys that they teach from the heart. They build an amazing curriculum that is step by step, and that we can follow up, but super structured. And I only met a few people like that. And it's I know I'm probably missing something, so I'm gonna leave Chris to say the rest.
No. That's fine.
What I have to say is they are tough, but they have a really a great heart. The system is amazing. They test it under pressure, right? Because you see, there's like, okay, we train, okay, grab a stick. I remember, okay, let's par, right? And they do it under pressure. It's not sorry, but can you do it, slower, or can you repeat it again, or other things? No, I see them like how what they say in words, they put in pressure and in a technique. And when they give to us, like they all came here to test us in the last summer, right? 6 guys. They decide to come to train us. It's like I personally, in the Filipino martial arts world, and it's a lot of great people. They were like, it's family. It's the system is amazing. I'm not saying it's the best system. I think all systems are good. They're really good in what they do, right? But they're great people, and it's like it was no politics. It was not about money. It was not about power. It's just hey, yeah, you can put the picture and the video, no problem. It's like it's not that control over us that I have in the past with other people. They're so so I don't know. I'm gonna let you talk.
Okay. No. And we got some more folks. We got you from Germany, Cherry, Whiskey. Yeah, Rob. Same here. I want to remember what I'm doing, especially weapons flying at me. And we got Guru Louie from Canada. All right. Okay, Chris. Same question. What led you to Stockton Multi Style?
That is a funky road.
So it's non-politically.
No. So I started, first introduction 91, right? And it wasn't until I don't know, I would train, just have fun with it. But my real big exposure to FMA was probably started in like 2003. That's when I started getting out and doing a lot of seminars, traveling around the country, doing martial arts camps, conferences, all kinds of stuff like that. And this is where I got to see a lot of phenomenal martial artists. You see some big name martial artists, you see some phenomenal martial artists. It's where I met Tim Hartman, Rafa Jadarian, Bobby Tawada, Jason and I, Rick Manglanong, just a whole bunch of people. Fantastic. Wow, that's so cool. So 2003 is when I started. And once again, I'm still playing with other people, training. You know how Filipino martial arts are, when you're doing drills, it's like, hey, I need you to do this, this, and this. So Chris, learn this, this, and this. I'm like, okay. So then we train, and so I would be doing that for God knows how many people, and just loving it. And so we move on from 2003, starting to teach seminars. And then in 2011, I opened up a martial arts studio / acupuncture clinic because I'm a licensed acupuncturist. And in Connecticut, that was my dream. I was like, I want to open a place where I could do martial arts and acupuncture at the same time. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So, and a lot of people thought I was crazy because I didn't teach kids. They're like, you'll never make it if you have to teach kids. Like, well, you know what? So what I did was considered my acupuncture my kids program, so it would pay the bills, so I could keep it up.
Okay, that's different.
Right?
Okay.
So I was teaching Hapkido and doing. Let me back up. Probably early 2000s. early 2000s. I met Hawkeye.
Okay.
A friend of mine was an instructor under him in Connecticut, and he's like, "Hey, you really like knives? You should come see my instructor. I'm hosting him. Oh, he's phenomenal." And I'm just like, "Okay." Well, you could have just said that. I've been like, "Yeah, I'll go."
Chris,
you didn't have to throw this big sales pitch on me. But so I go there. Chris, I'm sorry, you were going to say something?
I'm just curious. Who was? I didn't know there was a Connecticut instructor under Hawk. Can you say
that was Mario Leone.
Huh.
I don't know if he's still active, but that's who it was at the time.
Interesting.
So,
yeah,
so that was early 2000s. I met Hawk. I enjoyed it. I thought he was very functional, very, his background was years, in the military, years in law enforcement. He was actually a Priestess guy. He was a Remy and Ernesto Priestess guy. So he's got a lot of great experience there as well. And one of the things I liked about Hawk, he was like, not about dogma. He wasn't about, he just was like, I want to know what's effective, what to work. And one of the other cool things about him is that he is a violence nerd. He is addicted to learning about it. So he will research stuff, videos, books, his own personal experience. And he takes all that and he synthesizes it into his program. And force necessary, hand, stick, knife, gun. So those are the sections that I keep messing up where my hand's supposed to be. But at any rate, hand, stick, knife, gun, right? So that's and I kind of focused on the knife aspect. Okay. And I eventually became an advanced instructor under Hawk. But dude, let me tell you, he's awesome. And here's another little thing about Hawk. I'm not a big fan, just because I'm a kinesthetic learner. I learn by doing, right? Mm-hmm. I don't learn a lot by listening. I'm not an auditory learner. I'm a kinesthetic learner. Make me do it and I'll learn it faster. So at any rate, Hawk, I'm not big into seminar instructors that talk a lot and then do like this much training. Talk, this much training. Talk, this much training, right? Not a big fan of that. It works for some people. It doesn't work for me. But one of the things is that when Hawk tells a story, it's not about trying to sell you on how this technique is effective. It's not about him. It's not about, I need you to buy into what I'm selling kind of thing. It's not like that at all. It's valuable stories about either the technique or violence in general, blah, blah, blah. It's not less about him, and it's more about what's going on, how it's going to make your technique better, not about you buying into the technique. And I love that. He's one of the few instructors that I could actually go and just listen to him talk. I'm like, he's that interesting. He's a comedian. He's very, very charismatic. He's a good dude. He's just bottom line good dude from Texas. You know,
we got to get him on here.
Definitely.
Yeah. Are you in contact with him a lot?
What's that?
Are you in contact with him a lot?
I know a guy. Yeah, no, I talk to him here and there. Absolutely. You want me to give him a heads up?
Yeah, tell him it's it's a green light. So if you
all right, cool. So I was training with Hawk, and eventually teaching Hapkido out of my martial arts school and acupuncture center clinic. I eventually was like, you know what? I wanted somebody to come in and teach Filipino martial arts, because hey, if they're teaching it out of my school, I'm gonna learn something too. So great, awesome. So I was putting out feelers, talking to people. Hey, do you want to come teach at my school? Blah, blah, blah. And, I got a lot of, unfortunately, I'm teaching here or whatever. And a friend of mine who's really good dude, really phenomenal martial artist. I wish he would have taught there. But he said, dude, I can't, but why don't you do it? And I was like, what? No, I'm like, I have no paper. I have no certifications other than, Hawk, but I'm teaching some of Hawk stuff, but I want an FMA instructor in, and he's like, dude, you've been doing it long enough. You move better than a lot of people out there. Don't sweat it. He goes, just teach it. Just start. So what I decided to do was I'm like, well, I'm not going to teach if I'm not going to have like a specific growth pattern, I'm not going to teach and just be like stagnant. I need to grow along with my students, so they have something to look forward to. So I'm like, all right. So then I started, looking around, and fortunately I knew Rafi Derdarian from Super Summer Seminars when I taught there in 2003. Rafi is a instructor under Dennis Santo, and great dude. And I knew that if I learned through him, he wouldn't just give it to me. He would actually make sure I knew what was going on. Because, hey, if I'm teaching something, I'm a representative of who I'm teaching. So I meet out that soon. If I don't look good, they don't look good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I started learning under Guru Rafi, and enjoyed it. He has some awesome students. Chris, Norm, all those guys, Tony, awesome dudes. And so unfortunately, life got in the way, and I wasn't able to continue. Okay. So ended up continuing on, doing my same old, hey buddy, you want to go train? So we do that. And then in 2015, I was teaching at a martial arts camp up in West Seneca, I believe, up near Buffalo, at Tim Hartman's school. And that's where I met Michael Haron, which was right?
Okay, I got you. Okay,
right? Who we trained under. And so I hit it off with him. Okay. I was like, dude, he's a good dude. He's all right. All right. We had a lot in common. Martial artists, touring musicians, because I was a musician back in the day. Like Scotch. Don't judge. Right? So and so like we had a lot in common, and it was cool, and we had a good time, and blah blah blah. And we were training. So I ended up going out to California to train with him. And every year Chris Thompson would come and bring him to New York. And so
I recall that
camp every year up in Syracuse, and bring him in, take care of him and all that. And that lasted for 3 years.
It was a few years. I remember seeing the post about it. It was a few years, wasn't it?
What's that?
I remember seeing the post about that. It was a few years, wasn't it?
Yep. So that I think until 2018, then unfortunately, GM, we called Master Mike, we call him GM. So GM decided he wants to start charging for the association, and we were like, yeah, cool. He deserves to be taken care of. I know he wants to make sure his wife's taken care of and all that kind of stuff. And so he decided he was going to put a fee structure on that. And we're like, yeah, okay, cool. But what it come to find out was, unfortunately, we couldn't afford it. It was a little too high. Okay. So we decided to, like, at the next apprenticeship camp, we'll talk to him, and try to figure this out. So at the camp, we weren't able to figure anything out, and I don't hold it against him. It's a business thing.
It's a journey. We all take different routes sometimes.
Right. So it's like,
been through it.
If you can't afford it, I'm sorry, but and it is what it is. Like I said, it's a business. I'm not going to hold it against him. I'll still run into him here and there, and still.
Yeah, as long as you guys are still friendly and it's not toxic, then
right. Exactly. So even though I don't hold it against him, doesn't mean it didn't hurt, right? So and at that moment in that time, I didn't want to know anybody.
Yeah, right? I went through that, man.
And get this. Yeah, maybe a couple months afterwards, I get a call from Nelson, and I wish I could do his accent, but I can't. But so he goes, Chris, I'm training with the Stockton Multi Style guys. You should come. I'm like, no. I'm still burnt on this, and I just like, no, I don't want to know it. No, not interested. Thanks, but not interested. So at any rate,
I vouch for you, man.
You did, brother. We'll get to that. So I'm going through my pity party, trying to get over it and whatnot. And then eventually I come and I get my testicles back, and I'm like, you know what? So I ended up being like, you know what? I spent a lot of time, effort, learning Haron and Eskrima. and I enjoy it, and I don't want to stop. So you know what? I'm going to reach out to the other groups, because there are 3 main groups of the Verona Eskrima. You know, you got the main group, the Bahalana guys,
Right.
with Tony Samara and Kirk Commune.
Yeah, Kirk.
Commune. And then you've got the OGE group, which is Mr. Mike
and Brian Everett,
Brian Everett, right? And then you've got the Stockton Multi Style guys.
Gotcha.
Right. So I was like, you know what? I'm going out to California. I'm actually going to the Stockton area to go teach a seminar. I'm going to call them up, see if I can get a meetup and talk, hang out, you know, whatever. So I reached out, and unfortunately, I talked to Kirk McCune. It was a good conversation. Unfortunately, we couldn't work anything out. Weren't able to meet up. That's all right. But I appreciated his time talking to me. That was very cool of him.
Yeah.
And then I call the multi-style guys up. It happened to be June, June Gatico. And I go, hi, my name's Chris LaCava, blah, 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 blah. I'm coming out to do a seminar. I learned under, you know, I was training under Michael Heron and da-da-da. Yeah. And he said, what's your name? I said, Chris LaCava. He goes, yeah, come on out, man. We'll hang out. I was like, what? All right, yeah, dude, that's cool. So we scheduled some time and whatnot, and I came and we hung out. We trained. We not only did we talk and hang out, we trained. As Terry would say, we did some advanced training as well. That's over at the Escrimador Lounge, which is a very popular place. And we were hanging out, and I can't remember who it was, but somebody said to me, "Go, I just want to give you a heads up. Nelson vouched for you." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "He said you were a good dude, and that you train hard, and you got a good heart, and that's why."
Oh, okay. That
wasn't a big deal, right? And I was like, "That's really cool. Thanks, Nelson." So if it wasn't for Nelson, I may not even have been there. I'd still be like,
not even been in with the Brad Pack,
right? So I got Nelson to thank for that. So that's how I got involved with Stockton Multi Style. Long story, still long.
It's okay. Okay, here's try to really zone and narrow in on this. What makes up Stockton Multi Style for the viewers who are watching and may not know the 3 styles that are in there? So identify them and kind of give some background or what makes it unique from each different style and all that, and then we'll come to like you know, why they were chosen. But let's take it first just from what is Stockton Multi Style.
Okay, I talked too long, so go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna try to synthesize. So the blueprint of the Stockton Multi Style, it's from the Grandmaster late Iran, right? The blueprint, supposedly they're what they call the 20 styles, the fan, right? The reality, a lot of that, let me say like 18, 17 of them are like techniques or a type of footwork, a concept.
You may interrupt just one second. So super simple in a nutshell, Stockton Multi Style is made up of primarily 3 styles. Leo Heron's Bahalana or Largo Mano, De Cuerdas, and Serrata. Yeah. So those are the 3 styles. Now, work your magic, brother. Okay. Go get them.
No.
Okay, so I was going that. So yes.
But why were those 3 chosen?
So they call this Stockton Multi Style because of that, because they are the 3 men. Well, 3 of the men in Stockton, like the late Grandmaster Iran, the late Grandmaster Angel Cabales, True Den, Roy Villar, and Guru Tuna, if I'm not mistaken. It was he already died. There was one of that helped with the SLD, right? And the Cuerdas influence, right? But the blueprint is the fondo, that they have 115 techniques. What is the style number 1? Let's call style number 1. Because the styles, what they have is the fondo and largo. And that's what a lot of people think that the Giron Esgrima, it's only largo or is only the fondo, right? And the reality is, when we see the fondo, and that was one of our demos to talk about it, it was the fondo, you see that low stance and normally you see on the videos, right? And the fondo, basically, it's what we call the oh crap situation, that right? Because the reality is to know how to block or to deflect or to parry or even to hit directly in the body. Because the fondo, yes.
So another little tip here with the fondo, it's pretty much the anchoring style. You're pretty much locked in.
Right. You're grounded.
With everything that's happening right there at the moment. You don't really have a lot of room to move, you know, because the more you move, if you're on rocky terrain, or especially in the Philippines, if you think about it, you know, you've got exposed root systems, you've got rocky terrain. One step wrong, you land, you fall. And what I've been told is that you fall, you're probably going to die.
Exactly. So we see the situation that is the elevator situation, that we have a lot of space. But if you go on a historical aspect, imagine Grandmaster, the late Grandmaster Leo Iran, you know, a soldier with a sergeant, right? The Marines fighting the Japanese with the backpack, with the rifle, with all the radio, and they're in the hills and rocks and mud and the tropical weather, and we have these Japanese coming kamikaze in direction to him, right? And he's a triangle formation, man, and basically is no place to retreat, right? So the fondo basically, but the philosophy comes a little bit on that. And imagine you have the anchored position, because we have mud, we have hills and up and down. Maybe they coming from the top, maybe you're fighting down, whatever. So you have to have that strong position. But one of the things that basically when I was in Stockton was, the reality is a lot of the systems is they don't learn how to block. But again, the system that the fondo don't work only with Grandmaster Mark Wiley. I have to give credit to him. Don't work only on the fourth mode. The fourth mode, what we're talking about, it'll be like a block with the stick and with the hand check. Inside of the fondo, you have the reiterada and the elastico. So you have like largo. So you only have direct hit to the arm onto the body, or you have this like split entry, right? Like you parry and you hit the same time. You have deflection, right? Directed to the weapon, to the body. You don't have that left hand check. And then you have the fourth mode, that the techniques, right? You're gonna check and block, and then you hit, right? So I think that the fondo, that blueprint is very complete, because you work that 12 angles with this kind of four modes, right? What a lot of people have that misconception that the fondo or Giron's agreement only work corto and they only work on the fourth mode. The reality is, like what Bruce Lee will say, you learn it and then you forget about it. When you learn how to block hard under pressure, and that we have like the multi-hit strikes with the full power over you, right? It's like when you start corto, any technique that you do in corto, you can then do it in largo. Because the reality is to prepare you to face fear. Right. For example, I don't like it to block. You remember? I'm a boxer. I want to go around. I'm a small guy. I don't want that clash coming over me. So it was really good to learn the fondo, because are you there, Dean? It looks like he's frozen.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
And I like it because you learn to for me personally, to face that fear and that hard block. But also we have other techniques like the abanico style, largo style, the sonkiti,
within the fan,
contrapaz, and in fighting system. And so all concepts there are inside. But again, the fondo that everybody see on the corto can become corto, medio, largo, and everything that you're training in corto, then eventually you can apply in the largo distance. For example, the reality is, and I think Grandmaster Leo, I don't know if I'm saying correctly, but that you become eventually, when you become a master, you learn all this inside fighting, right? But eventually you become a master when you start hitting from outside. And one of the things I see, how they develop a program and a sparring system, like by Terry Joven, I remember going there, he was teaching the class, was you'll see them sparring, and they're amazing, right? You'll see that they're hitting really from outside. And you see that position that is very familiar with fencing or with IMA, right? Because they want to have that distance. They block it, boom, and they hit it. They hit it from so far away. When we see a lot of systems, they clash and everybody's hitting, right? They try in the best to become a master on that distance. But just in case, and for Murphy law, and it just comes the day that you're inside of an elevator, that you have no space to run, comes the baseball bat, whatever, and you're able to grab something and to block, face your fear and know how to block hard. Because a lot of people think they know how. I thought probably I learned much more with them that, oh, maybe I need to know how to block hard, but because they come with intention. So now I'm more committed to that. Even if I don't like it, but it made me a better esgrimador. So
let's hear about because we guys got your demos and all that. I want to hear, like, in other words, you don't need to go so deep as you want, but the other two, Chris, what are the other two, and what is their significance in Stockton Multi Style, and what? In other words, if I'm seeing you guys or any Stockton Multi guy, would I be able to see in contrast to three different in practice? Would I be able to see the three different systems that make up Stockton Multi Style? So before you can answer that, what are the other two, and what did they extract to make it part of the system?
So the other two besides the Hirona Eskrima would be De Cuerdas, Gilbertino De Cuerdas, and then Angel Cabales is Serrata. So if you looked at me, you probably wouldn't see any difference, because after graduation, like with us, as far as our learning progression, as far as the curriculum is concerned, the beginning part is more of the Hirona Eskrima, right? That's the basis of it.
So that's what you get first. You get that.
What's that?
That's what you get first. You're getting the Hirona system first. Okay.
Right? That's primarily what you get first. That's the majority of what you get first.
Okay.
And then after you learn and are able to perform at a higher level with that material, then you go for graduation. Graduation is like your black belt, Once again, that's another thing that's very informal. It's not like you have ranks and, belts and all that kind of stuff, and you go for your black belt. No, they just have graduation. It's like a celebration, So you go, you do everything that you need to do at a high level, because they're coming at you at a high level, right? So you do that. Then once you graduate, then you start getting into the more SLD, the Serrata, Largo, De Cuerdas modules, right?
Okay.
And that's when you'll start to see more of that. Currently, I'm not very good at it. Not yet.
So
I'm trying. We're training.
I just want to back up a bit.
Yes, sir.
So going to the seminar and just knowing a little about Stockton Multi Style, I know when they get the long and short, lock and block, definitely coming from the Cabales system.
Right.
Okay. So what could you identify to me from the Cuerda system? What is that? What they extracted from there?
So from what we were told, one of the ways that when people were fighting Leo Hiron was that he hit hard. Like, you're not just going and blocking. So what the De Cuerda style is coming up with, and from what I was also told, is that those guys back in the day, they trained together, but they'd also try to beat each other, and they're trying to figure out, what can I do to not to come out on top, right? So one of the things with De Cuerdas was the stick, right? Was this type of reinforced blocking.
Okay.
All right. So you'll see what we call vertical blocking. Boom, 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 boom. Right. And you're hitting it. Bah! You're really, and that's one of the things that you'll see right off the bat, because that vertical blocking is within the first sections of, prior to graduation. You're getting the vertical blocking.
You'll see the reinforced.
They will not have the left hand check. Like I was talking about the fourth mode, right? The block in the hand.
With this style.
They come with full power. So the idea is, like, if he comes to number one, I block it. And when he passes, boom, boom, I will hit them. Right? If he gives me number two, boom, pass it, boom,
They
boom,
can't
hit
see you.
that side.
They can't see you.
It's like, oh, but the idea is blocking. And then after that, to get in, because they know, there's like, I'm not going to get in there and put the left hand check, right? Because it's going to come on full power. It's going to hit me. So anyway, it's a kind of a philosophy that very simple, nothing very complicated.
Yeah. I just my concern is not. I mean, obviously, I'm not claiming to have the understanding you guys do. I don't want to get that misconstrued. However,
Of course.
from interviews and just being on the block, I have a general idea what's in there, the three components and all that.
Yeah.
The one system I'm not really have any knowledge on or anything is Dequertus.
So another thing that you'll see from Stockton Multi Style, as far as like Dequertus flavor kind of stuff, is a lot of time. So what you'll see, and once again, not very good at it yet. Always training. That's one of the things. Wait a minute, Dean. Remember that picture I was telling you about? That calligraphy?
Yeah. Where is it?
Right there, bro.
Wow, I see it. I can't see it close, but I definitely see it on the wall.
Yeah,
over your
so that's
door.
what I would have hanging in front of on the going into the dojo
Gotcha.
or training floor.
Okay.
All right. So at any rate, one of the things that you'll see that's very Dequertus flavor is blocking and then redirecting.
Sticky.
So it's like a sticky hands drill with a weapon.
Like Florete and KI.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll see that as well, which is very
Interesting.
cool. When you get that down, man, it's very sticky hands.
So
Very-
you go to block. You guys tell me if I'm got the idea of this.
Uh-oh. Oh, Dean's not messing around now. Make it happen, Dean.
So I would block here and then phase it out.
Not necessarily. I wish I was good at it. But what happens, you'll intercept it, and then you'll end up. So you'll end up blocking it and staying in contact with the blade,
On the
right?
barrel. Okay.
You're actually coming in and going for the attack while the other person stays and blocks it. So it's a give and take drill.
Oh, and coming up maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got the idea what you're talking about. Staying connected and
And also those manos. There are also drills with those manos that it's just a simple redirect and then slash. Redirect, slash.
Okay.
Like against five teros, doing that. Yeah. So
The reason I'm
there's
asking
two
more about
concepts
this
inside.
system, the reason I'm asking more about this system is most folks obviously in the FMA community have a pretty good idea of their own system. Obviously, Kabbalah, Serrata, but their Dequertus, just from my understanding of that, I don't think a lot of people don't really, including myself. You know what I mean? I think from my understanding, not a lot of people have they might have heard of it, but they don't really know what it's about. At least for me, anyhow.
Right.
You need to bring some of the practitioners in Stockton, to the show.
Oh yeah.
Like Grandmaster Ciazon, right? It was the It was the editor of the system
From Mike Cardenas.
From all Cardenas.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Yeah,
Who
if
do
you
I
guys
know
are
what I
testing
don't
them,
know?
guys, by all means, let them know that we are. Yeah.
I think they're probably because they
Yeah.
that's their goal.
They're Dequertus guys, man. They rock.
Here.
Yeah, yes.
What are the names again? I'm sorry.
That would be Mike Cardenas.
I've heard that name before. Okay.
He makes a hell of a tiki and a lot of carne asada.
You have
Beautiful, wonderful.
you have the guru George Magana. I remember the always with Grandmaster Artur Gonzalez, and you also have his editor, what is Daniel Ciazon. Ciazon, yeah, he's the.
If you guys don't, if I got my Cardano, if you don't mind after the show, can you message me those names?
Yes, I
Sure.
can.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Yeah, I can't be bothered. Nelson will do it. No.
You can take care. It's all good.
Chris, I really appreciate that. No.
Yeah, no worries.
That's on the house. Anyhow, you guys got a demo, right?
Yeah.
All right. So why don't you explain to us what you got?
All right. So first, let me just say something. When you're a teacher, and it doesn't matter what you teach, there's a phenomena that happens.
Okay.
You can teach something to a student 100 times, 1,000 times, and they're like, I don't get it, right? Then somebody will come along, say it once, maybe say it or do it the exact same way you did it, and they're like, oh my gosh, big old light bulb and everything, right? Have you ever had that happen to you? Like most of the teachers I ever met.
Several times.
Right? So, and it doesn't make you a bad teacher. It's just like you had to give them that foundation to finally catch that.
They were able to present in a way that clicked with you.
Correct. Right. So what I'd like to show today is, or tonight, is a basic drill that we do. It's a scapo drill or a parrying drill.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So now with any of our, within any drill, right? You always have to have, what are you trying to accomplish with it? Because a drill is not a fight, right? To think it is stupid, right? But what are you trying to accomplish? So what are our objectives? So with this drill, our primary objective, there's a lot of things you could glean from it, but I'm just saying to start off, our primary objectives is 1, get your body out of the way. 2, alter the trajectory of the attack. Right. So if the attack is coming this way, don't allow it to keep going this way. Make it go right or right.
Can you do that again?
Offline.
I just want to hear those noises again. Can you do
that? Dude, this is gonna be a meme. Is you gonna make a meme out of my stuff, man? So, and then the third thing is building tactile sensitivity. So if you've ever done Chinese martial arts or done sticky hands drill, you have a leg up here, right? So those are the 3 primary things that, you know, that we're trying to work on, right? So let's start with this.
Okay, now, I'm gonna lower myself. Hey guys,
yeah,
I'm gonna lower myself, so I'll wait till you guys done before I bring myself back up. Okay.
Okay. Oh, and there's one other thing. If you happen to stay till the end of this demo right here,
okay,
I'm going to go over some of the most common questions students have when they go, you know, it's a cool drill, but right?
So you'll handle the butts. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, now I thought we weren't going there. But no, but seriously, even I had questions like, yeah, it's a cool drill, but what about this? What about that? Okay. It doesn't seem right. Right? So I'm going to go over some of those when we finish.
Sounds good. You let me know and I'll bring myself back up.
All right.
All right.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to have the feeder feed what we call an angle 1 and an angle 2. All right. So it's a high forehand diagonal down and I'll have backhand diagonal down. All right. What I'm going to do is 1, step off line, and I'm going to intercept his coming strike. I don't want to come behind it and follow it, right? Because if I come behind it and follow it, I have to be faster than he is. Because just swing hard. That's pretty damn fast. So if I try to go behind it and try to follow it, I have to be even faster. And martial arts, you know, it was always about, you're not going to, you know, you may not be the stronger, faster person, so you should be able to defend yourself. Well, it all takes tips and tricks like this. So don't follow it, intercept it, go get it. All right, so that's the first thing. So I'm going to step offline, I'm going to intercept, and then I'm going to take my other foot and pivot out. And I'm going to come here. Now what's going to happen is he's not going to fully retract. He's going to try to go around it. I'm going to step, and I'm going to send it offline here. And one more. He's going to go for his 1 here. Just like that. Now, when you first start off, just do it in place, right? So we're just going to stay in place. 1, 2, 3, 4. So like that, all right? That's all I'm doing. Staying in contact the whole time, all right? Then, to build up to that, I'm going to step back and move. And now what's going to happen is I'm going to feed him, and he's going to do it going backwards. Good. And then he feeds me. Now this is the basic. Now we're gonna up the ante. So here, he feeds a 1. And if he has any skill, what's gonna happen is he may feel where the path of least resistance is. He may try to come underneath it and cut me. Right? So for example, I'm here and he goes underneath it. Oh crap, right? So we don't want that. So this is where we're going to start getting our legs in the game. All right? So he comes and I'm going to come down low, almost like I'm shoving his weapon into the ground. All right? He goes for his number 2. 3. Right? So he's attempting, he's giving me force, he's giving me energy that I'm not only am I giving you a 1, I'm also coming down and trying to hit you low too. So you do that. All right? So we're going to go back and forth. All right? And I feed him. I'm going for your leg. Oh, good. He feeds me. Good. All right. So staying in contact, moving. All right. Now this can be done with 3s and 4s as well. All right. So here. All right. So I go 3s and 4s. You can go around the world. You can do 3s, 4s, all the whole thing. Right?
Explain why the slash.
That's what I'm getting to now.
Okay.
So here are the things that we had talked about, or that I commonly hear, or I've said. First one. If I'm getting my body out of the way, why do I have to send it offline? It's a valid question. But it's like this. Hawkeye, one of my instructors, would talk about the diminished fighter. The diminished fighter is you would diminish your opponent, fatiguing them out, hurting them to where their skill level drops. Their strength drops, their speed drops, everything drops, right? So that diminished fighter thought concept doesn't only apply to their opponent, it applies to you too. So as you're fighting, it's a chaotic environment. And you're like, oh, right? You're trying to stay top, but you're starting to peter out. We're human. We're not all robots and can stay for a half hour or whatever. Because fights don't normally last that long anyway. But so what happens is that getting that strike offline is a redundancy built in. So if you do end up moving and you don't move enough, that sending it offline will help you not get hit. And it makes a whole lot of sense when you start doing it, especially if you're working like a corto or a really close range. So like when we're doing what we call combate adentro, right? You're in close. I don't have room to, if he sends a 3, right? I may not be able to like scoot way back. I may be, oh crap, I'm right here. So I end up going in and sending it offline, not allowing him to hit my leg. And that's what we call shortening the weapon, right? So go for my leg, right? So he's here. Now watch, if I push down and send it offline, his weapon now shortens. See that? Here. Because if I allowed it to keep going that same movement, if I step back, I may not be able to step back enough. It's possible, right? So that's one of the reasons why, even though you're getting out of the way, we're still going to send it offline. And I can't tell you how many times I've eaten a 3 or 4 when we're training, just because I didn't send it offline. So at any rate, next question. Next question is, why are you not fully retracting when you send your 1s and 2s? Because it's a blade art. Think about it like this. With an impact weapon, you need inertia. you need force, right? With a blade, not necessarily as much, right? So here, put that there. So if I have my weapon, you know what, let's go to this side, right? So if I have my weapon here, I have a stick here, and I go like this, or this, how much damage is really happening? Or if he moves, right? How much damage is really happening? Not a whole heck of a lot. Maybe a little friction burn, maybe, but really nothing much is happening. Now, we take a blade, and I rest this blade up against his neck, and I go, or he moves, how much damage is going to happen? A whole lot, right? So with a blade, it's a different story. I don't have to retract, right? I can barrel through, right? So with this, if he escapos this and he doesn't do a good job, I find that path of least resistance, I can just push in, right? 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 Here, if he does a bad job, right, and he doesn't realize that I'm coming underneath it, that is enough to cause a lot of damage. Where with a stick, it's not going to be so much. So primarily, because it's a blade or edged weapon style, that's why. So hopefully somebody will get something out of that. If you're a student, maybe that's the one time it clicks. If you're an instructor, maybe it gives you a new concept to work on or a new way of training, because all us instructors are always looking for new ways to build repetition. So that's it for me as far as my demo is concerned. Hopefully you enjoy and got something out of it. Dean, back to you.
All right. Awesome. So, no, I like that. I like something, and you're so right. I mean, you need, with stick, you need momentum and power. You know what I mean? For consequence. You know what I mean? So, but, yeah, Tim's saying the demo didn't come through. He's saying that, it keeps freezing. Is that just, you guys weren't freezing here, but I'm just wondering, mine was freezing too. Oh boy.
They're both up in the Buffalo area. Might be an internet thing.
But you guys weren't really, like, I didn't know you guys freezing with me, so I don't know. Yeah, folks, I'm sorry. I'm not even sure what to attribute that to, because they weren't freezing with me, so I'm not sure.
It's you guys. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it, bud.
When in doubt, blame the guest. Jeez. You guys got I got a few, you guys got comes and goes. Okay, Kara, thank you. All right. When I download this, you know what it is? When I download it later on YouTube, I'll see what's going on. Not that I'm gonna, depending on what it is, I might not be you're frozen, Dean Frank. How am I? Am I frozen, you guys?
No, you're good to go here.
Strange.
I don't know.
Is it cold up there, Tim? Messing with your internet?
Hope to review it after. I don't know. They're saying it's kind of and all that, but you guys are. I'm clearly not frozen to you guys. I mean, it's and you guys are not freezing to me. So I don't know. I don't know what to. I don't know. Oh well, it's. Oh well, I have to try to. I don't even know. When I download, I'll have to maybe try to see what's going on. But
hopefully the replay won't have that when you edit it.
I'm really hoping. I'm definitely hoping. And yes, Dean, you were frozen a lot too. I don't know what the heck. Interconnection.
Jerry, what's up, girl? But it was still entertaining. Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no. All right. I do got keeps freezing RN too. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't even know what to attribute it to. Yeah, I'm hoping the download definitely doesn't show that. Oh well. So what do you guys You guys
Better late
got
than never, Jose.
You guys got more or better or
Sure.
what's?
Really? Better?
No, because I got a couple more questions before
Thanks,
we.
dude. Thanks. See, I put my heart and soul into that, bud.
I can share something. I can share something.
Okay, I got a couple questions. So let's. All right.
Oh, a couple
So,
questions?
radio show. Yeah, somebody mentioned StreamYard as well. All right, I'm gonna hide myself, guys, and do your thing.
All right.
Okay.
So back to the conversation we had initially about the fondo, and sometimes I know that most, I think, these grimadors that they are in the FMA world, they know what the Giron is grima, I assume, right? But we have a lot of people that think that is, or it's only a largo thing, or a corto, like a de fondo, right? And in fact, it's both. So I just want to go work on that and just show some examples so we can kind of explain that mystique, whatever you want to call. So, Chris?
Yep.
And I'm going to try to, very easy. Let's use the angle 1, 1, 1, or 2. I think everybody have 1 and 2. It's the most common, everybody, right? So, I remember a comment, I'm not saying names, you guys just give me a number 1 for a roof block, right? They come over here, I'm going to give you power. Right? So you guys just work on that distance. You're always checking with that hand. And I say, yeah, we do that. It's true. But we do more. Right? And I will give you an example. And I will give the credit that kind of when I was talking with Grandmaster Mark Wiley, I have to give, because it was always available when my Grandmaster Diablo taught me, or when I have to give some Carlito Juan Jocko di Serrada. I trained a few years and I still want to close. I want to give credit to my guru, John Turiano, and Grandmaster Bobby Tabuano, 5th level in Balinto. Actually, I need to go back. That is one of the arts that I put a lot of love there. So thank you guys for that too. So all these people teaching. But in the conversation online and Grandmaster Mark Wiley, and he's in his program that I got some of his material, and it kind of opened up. You know, when you have that, you always saw yellow until someone point to yellow. You know he's there, and you're always using it. But yeah, I would say, Stockton Multi Style, the fondo really works on that 4 modes, right? So, for example, technique number 1, the 115, you will see that we hit so number 1, slow so I can show. We'll go from outside, no hand check. So the first mode, if you see, is I hit on the body, any part of the body. Can be, you can have other techniques. I go to the center of the body, go to the head, I go to the arm, right? But I can decide that I come onto the fondo, I come over here, I hit there, and he's coming back with the number 2, and you will see that the scalpel, right? The techniques that check, hard check, or like in Lustrissimo D, and you have like the Sagaza, right? You're hitting him, and you can put snap strikes, or in the system that I come with the 1 and 2, he's coming to me. So he's checking what he's doing on the forearm, right? And training that check, training strong and coming over. Well, of course, we want to hit on the back, but that's initially because we know that someone comes with a punch with the right hand, probably is going to punch with the left hand. So we know if he comes with number 1, he goes number 1, and he comes back with the 2, and I check, and I hit, come over him. But that's the fondo, for example, that I have the first technique that was the first mode, that I hit directly on him. But it don't mean I have to close and stay there. Initially, we have to train that because maybe I don't have no time, because it's very dangerous. After you take the control of this, you can go largo. And so, for example, if he comes on the same one, maybe I just decide to take elastico style there, right? Or maybe I use exactly the same technique. I come outside, he comes back, and I'm on largo. I'm hitting here, pasado vertical. And I go crazy over him. And I don't need to close, right? That's what we call the first mode. So the second one we talk about is what I said, we also have that on the fondo. What it is, parry, right? If he comes to the number 1 slow, I come here, check, and hit same time. So I'm hitting same time on the body that I check, but I'm parrying maybe with number 3. And I'm doing always the same, so you guys can have that angle there. And then I think everybody understands what is it, number 1, number 2. I did exactly the same. I came and hit it. The number 3, let's do it from number 2. So I do a deflection, right? A deflection. I close the distance faster. You hear it? But I can decide, not only slow, so I can show. I don't need to come over here, maybe come over here or here, take the shot, or just close. I can go largo exactly, right? So you came, and boom. I decide to stay largo now. But I can also decide to stay in the fondo. You don't mean that, you guys always have to share. You guys always go in. It depends on the situation. Maybe I deflected. He was so fast, and I came over, but he came out me. Because exactly what my brother Chris was explaining, that hand there, that escapo technique, the basics we started, then later on is to develop to be on stressful situations. That he's going to come not stopping on a 1, but he's coming back on a 2. He comes to number 3, comes back with the number 1, or he's going to 3 through the 4 to the 3. And we need to train until we're able, right, slowly, with progression, I suppose. Or you put a good helmet. Anyway, so deflection, right? And then finally, what we have what we call the force mode there, right? That when it comes from, like, give me number 1. You got strong, strong. That if you see, I block it, right? And if you see why I'm going there, because probably I'm on this elevator. The more I run away, and he comes in, I'm like, oh, bah! But so the speed is going 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 miles per hour. I want to close that on 20, 30. He comes to me and cutting gas. Ah! And I go there. Someone have to die today, and I don't want to die, so it have to be you. Sorry, Chris. So I want to block and go in. Right? Now, the check also, suppose let's the usual everybody talk about like this, inside, stick pointing down, whatever. And we also have the sensitivity here, right? And I want to connect with escapo. Why? Because he maybe moves back, and I follow him, punch, hit, whatever, we go, right? We follow up. Maybe he press forward. So I also feel that energy, or maybe freeze, right? So I just go in. Again, even on the block that we did, right? I don't need always to check, because he can come to the number 1, and I decide, and I hit it back. I don't put my hand there. So it depends the situation, right, and the speed. And that's why where we come with, for example, the multi-hit strikes, right? So we're going to just feel like a 1-2-1, simple. The reinforce the hand here. He comes in, I'm going strong. And I come in on Chris. So I can face my fear. And I was afraid of this. And I told a lot of times after Chris, man, I was being banging his head a few times and on my arms until I stopped happening, right? And I'm improving. And I still have a lot of work to do to improve. My enemy number 1 was fear. And I have to step out of my comfort zone.
Nobody grows in their comfort zone.
Right? So I think I'm a little bit better, but I still have so much work to do. But I just want to explain why that hand check there, that sensitivity, why I follow up, why we do it.
Good job.
Again, it is better, it is worse. It is what we do. And that's what we have to share. So thank you so much.
All right. You guys were animated, to say the least. So, all right. So yeah, great stuff. I thank you guys for doing the demos. Let's go wrapping up here. Future goals. So, what are each of your future goals within maybe not just the system, but FMA as a whole?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I just like training. You know, good people, good training, I'm down. I don't care what style you do. I don't care. As long as you're a good dude, good gal, and you got a good heart and you want to train, I'm down, right? It's one of the things I love about Krampus. We just had Krampus here in Georgia, put on by Chris Caban and the Atlanta Collie Group. And we had people coming from all different styles. We had Dog Brothers. We had Khalil we had Olintowak. We had all kinds of Stockton Multi Style. You know, we just had a blast.
No, it looked fun. Yeah.
You know, but that's what the whole thing's about. It's hanging out, community, training. So it kind of started as a sparring thing. Everybody spars, but really not everybody spars.
Yeah.
But you do see everybody picking up sticks and swinging, whether it's to train. It's like, hey, you did this. Can you show me what you were doing or why you did it? And we're like, most people, 99% of people go, yeah, man, no worries. Hey, it's cool you picked that up, you know?
Yeah, right.
So it's a really great event. So hopefully Chris is going to put another one in the summer, which we had a cook.
I just saw something he posted.
Yeah.
I unless I'm seeing things, I could have sworn he just posted something regarding that.
A summer one?
I could be mistaken. I thought so, but don't quote me. I thought so. But
yeah, good times. Krampus, whether it's Krampus in July or Krampus in Christmas time, it was just really nice. It's really cool.
How about you, Nelson? Future goals?
Well, I'm studying for my 6th degree in modern Farang Musul. You know, it's been my art. It's like the culmination of 30 years. And my Apkidan Taekwondo that is inside there. So my warang and my weapons, you know, Grandmaster Dialba did an amazing work with the martial art, with trapping and grappling and stick and knife and machete. So he was like the teacher that gave me such a strong foundation, and I'm one of his top students. So finally, after 10 years, I'm doing my 6th degree. My last time I did 5th degree was July. It was August of 2012. So it's very important for me to do this in modern Farang Musul, what is an amazing art. In Stockton Multi Style, I want to keep training. It's like it was. I don't know if it's destiny, but it was funny that I was living in Colorado, this guy in Connecticut, and we live now 30 minutes
from each other.
Yeah. And that made it possible for us to train. You know, it's
if it wasn't for Nelson, I probably wouldn't have graduated.
And if it was not because of Chris, I would not have graduated. He was the one that was pumping me up and calling and come on, Elsa, let's go train. And then eventually, okay. You know, I was working 12, 14, 16. I was working so many hours and I was so not possible. I would love to find a training partner and eventually train more in the Balintawak. I stopped in the fifth level.
Okay.
But you know, eventually I have a training partner that I cannot be training in everything. You know, he have the same goal than mine. Even our background in many things are similar. You know, it's awesome guy. You know, and I like to train with humble people. You know, it's like we try to help each other. You know, so you don't find a lot of people like that. You know, with no agenda. We just want to come and train. And
we're getting older. We got a lot less, patience dealing with morons and jerks.
Yeah, it's tough, man. You know, and especially like I'm trying.
But you know what? We're able to find them though. There are a lot of good people out there that I train with and love to train with.
Sure, no, yeah, the majority are good. Yeah. What okay, last question, Chris. If there was another FMA style you could do, you had the time for, and all the planets were lined up, and you were able to make it happen, what other FMA system would you choose to do?
I will tell later. I have a number one.
It better start with a K. God damn.
No, don't even go there. But I don't know exactly what you're talking about. But
I'm just kidding.
no.
I will say Illustrissimo for me.
I would. Damn it.
Illustrissimo. Because that would be like Serrada. Imagine this like a fight between Tatang Illustrissimo and Leo and Angel Cabales and all these top, like these like gods, you know. It's like of his grima, you know. And we have the Serrada, we have the Stockton. Yeah, for sure, Illustrissimo.
Chris?
It sounds like a cop out, but that's what I was thinking. Son of a.
Sure, he was.
No, because everything that I've heard, like what I've seen from KI, from what I've seen from KI, from what firsthand experience from KI, from what Nelson's telling me, because he has more background in it than I do. He says, "Oh, well, when they do this and we do this and this is this," and I was just like, "Oh, that's really cool." So Kali Illustrissimo does sound like it would be one of the top ones that I would think about.
It's like, you know, I met a few people in train and in Illustrissimo, and I just think that, you know, last time was really fun when we met with Guru Vico Perrine. I think he was.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, Dean. Appreciate it. It's not like I'm not.
No,
it's not like I'm here.
You're not able. You were working.
No.
Chris,
yeah, it was. I have an awesome
anytime.
time with Guru Perrine and with you guys. I think he's a really good teacher. I was like, from the beginning to the end of the class, I was so pumped up. I was like, oh my gosh, he's awesome. You know, and I met Dave Gold too. I met Dave Gold many years ago, 2014. And I spent 3 days there, and I have to say, he's one of a kind.
Scariest man that I've ever been before.
You know, I got all these videos. I got a lot of notes. Even today times, I try to train whatever, you know, whatever I got it, because it's like, I literally everything he teaches is applicable.
Tell me this, Nelson, for the audiences listening. Tell me this. Who is the scariest guy, and who could, I don't care, get the 2 inches to your hand, the 4 inches to your head effortlessly, and his attribute development is beyond anybody I've seen?
In what aspect? In FMA?
Yeah.
Are you looking for a specific answer?
I think the guy you just mentioned, in my experience, the guy that I can't do anything against.
I have to say that I can't say he is, but I can point a few in Stockton Multi Style, and I'm not like being biased because
I don't know. June is scary good. Jungo Tico's scary good.
He's a monster, man. 245.
Dude,
he's got such control.
Terry have a great aim.
Oh yeah.
But out of Stockton, okay, let's not talk. Right? Yeah, I agree with you. When I was doing hand hunting, you can feel
he's
something there. He's different. So I have to give the respect, literally, to him. Other person that I like, and then again, it's one of my teachers. I think he's really good as a knife. As a knife, he's my teacher, Grandmaster Diallo. And in his circle, they call him the knife guy. He's really good. People don't know about it. Maybe on the 90s, Panther Productions, but people know I remember like Filipino martial artists. I remember when I went 20 years ago to California, and I spent a year. I was just training 24/7. You know, I get up in the morning, I train, I come back, I train with him. I will train with other friends of him in schools, and I remember they will tell me and say, I remember Professor Muro telling me, and he's a student from Mikey and I, trained with Gilbertino and so on, and amazing martial artists, and he told, your teacher, knife guy.
I'm going.
So I have to give credit, that to a few people, my teachers, and I'm not pulling just my teachers, but but he's not known because he's not so much on the circle of FMA. It's an outsider. Inside the FMA, I have to say, between Stockton and Dave Gold, I have to say that when I was doing hand hunting and in the morning Sunday when we went to train, I have my proofs, my hands to prove how my knuckles were, and you know what I'm talking about better than me.
No, I'm
So
trying
I
to go
just
see
worked
him
there 3
again.
days that I met him and
So,
trained with his students, but it was an amazing experience. I have to say
yeah.
that when I went to Vico, Guru Perrine, I really like. I thought he was a mix of a very well-educated man with an amazing technique, and
No,
also
he's yeah, no,
and very humble. This Nelson, okay, let's spar, right? So I went with you and then trained with him. It's like no ego, you know. It's
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
and what I saw, it's the same that like the Stockton guys, no ego. Let's go spar, you know. And I like that. So
Yeah. So
it is the reality. I don't care what style it is. In the end, when we fight, it becomes all systems become very similar, and we know that. So.
yeah. Closing thoughts, Chris. Anything from you?
Just really do appreciate the opportunity here, you know.
Oh, happy to do. Happy to do.
So hopefully people got something out of it.
Oh, I think so. I'm just more concerned about some of the people saying during some of the duration of the interview, some of the frozen parts. So what I gotta do is when I get done, you guys, I'm gonna download it. I'm just gonna see how it plays through YouTube, you know, and just I'm hoping that there's nothing and it wasn't us. I'm hoping.
Okay.
I won't know that until I download it. Unfortunately, you know.
We always can do part 2 someday.
Oh no, I'd be more than happy to get you guys. Matter of fact, you know what you do is I'm supposed to either be going to Florida,
South Carolina,
or Mississippi.
That's
That
not
good
North
old David Gould, sign me up. Hey, so yeah. So if I do go to NC, obviously we could do something live right there. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'd love to have you.
This time, Chris, this time you will be invited. Okay.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
No.
Appreciate it, Dean.
Dean,
Hey. All right, you guys.
Thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it.
Oh my gosh.
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. I knew there was going to be some animation, some humor, all wrapped up into one. So,
I didn't really say too many bad words.
No. You guys did great. You guys did great. But yeah, hey, if I do not talk to you guys have a very happy New Year.
And you as well.
You as
Happy
well.
New Year.
And everybody that
everybody out there.
Thank you for the support. Some of my students are there from Portugal, friends from Portugal, from England, and I don't know if I'm missing, but there are so many comments. So probably other people there. But thank you for everybody.
Yeah, thank
Absolutely. You. Yeah. All right, you guys have a good night, and thanks again for coming on.
Thank you, Dean. Take it easy. Have a good night.
All right, you too. All right, that wraps up episode 140. Who is next? That's actually a great question because you know what? I don't know if there's anybody left for the remainder of the year. However, in January, we got quite a list going. So I might try to sneak one in Friday night, maybe. No, that's New Year's Eve. I will not be sneaking anything in Friday night. So it'll be the new year as far as somebody's coming on. Maybe Sunday night. We'll get something kicked off. But at any rate, if you have not already, please subscribe to FMA Discussion on YouTube. All the money that we receive goes to charity. We do not keep anything. We do not receive anything for doing this. Okay, all of us at FMA Discussion are doing this on our own time and so forth. So, folks, anyway, if I don't talk to you, have a happy New Year, and thank you all those who watched, commented, and a couple of you guys submitted questions. I really appreciate it, and we will talk to you soon. Happy New Year, and take care.